La la.
Oh, wow.
La. Talk to Blue. Okay.
Okay.
We're here.
We're back.
We're back to talk to our peeps. Back to talk
Peeping
to
it
our
real.
peeps. Peeping it real. Peeping it real. Awesome.
Get it. All right.
Now that we got that out of our system, look at how good we look.
Yes, we are jazzed.
If you're only listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Podcasts, or Podchest, or Pocket Pod, or any of those other streaming services like Amazon, we are dressed in 90s makeup. We have, I have a combination of blue, bright eyeshadow with pink lipstick and pink cheeks.
I have a wonderful cotton candy pairing of bright pink eyeshadow and blue lipstick.
Do you like it?
It's a look, honey.
It's a look. Check out the Instagram photo that we will post to see it if you're only listening.
Yeah.
Now, on a more serious note, we're here to talk about some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Recently, 215 dead children were found at a residential school. Now, this has caused quite the outrage, as it should. I don't know. Where do we want to go with this right now? Like,
I'm just gonna start off with, it's great that a lot of awareness is happening about this this tragedy.
very.
It is very sad. However, with that being said, with all the awareness that's, why am I losing the awareness that's being created, I guess,
I don't know.
about the awful things that they endured in these schools. It's not enough to put a label on your profile picture, and it's not enough to just share one little blip on your Instagram story and then resume back to your normal day-to-day programming. We'll put that like there's like, I got really triggered by it. I think it was just like the lack of compassion, I think, that show. That's personally what I feel it shows. If you post a quick little clip and then, back to my fucking shit show and this and that.
By the way, here's my event that you have to go to. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, when that came out, I took the day and I researched and I researched and I researched. And I think if you're going to post something like that, you should be quiet afterwards and just let it sink in. Like, it just seems so insensitive to post one tiny little clip out of your day and then just continue on as normal.
And then it's insincere. It also seems very insincere. Like, you just did it because Facebook made a profile cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or like sharing that one, there was like that one clip that went around on Instagram and it was just like, I'm going to, and like, are you sharing it just so that you don't seem insensitive, that you think you're seeming insensitive to it?
You're trying to show you care, but like, do you actually care? Because like,
what are you doing about it?
Yeah.
And a lot of things too, like, so Sam, aka the lady who birthed me, we'll just leave it at that for now. We'll get into that later on.
Yeah.
Is probably one of the most racist people that I know, and like talked about PA, where we're from, very poorly because there's a lot of natives there. Makes fun of natives nonstop. And she put that on her profile picture. Yeah. And I wanted to put my head through a fucking window when I seen that. It was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, before I grew into myself and realized how awful that was to be racist towards them, like, like, if anything, like, she taught me to be racist.
Yeah.
You know, like, she instilled that into me, the way that she talked about them. And then to do that, like, obviously I've grown, and now I don't judge anybody by the color of your skin. I judge you by how you treat me and how you treat others. And that's how everybody should judge everyone.
Absolutely. Just 100%. I'm just soaking in what you said right now, because yeah, like, and so are you, like, she was obviously like that when you were a child, and do you think she's still like that to this day? Like, I know you haven't spoken in a while, but
yeah, it's been 2 years, but before those 2 years, 100%. Like, she always calls PA, like, how does she ever say, I'm gonna go to PA.
Yeah,
you know,
and assholes say the same thing to me about North Battleford, because people think it's res town. Fuck you. Like, that's rude and racist. Like, yeah, there's reserves surrounding it, but I know the infliction of like, when you use the word res, I know that when that word comes out of certain people's mouths, it's meant to be mean. When
it's an insult.
Yeah, I come from North Battleford, and I drove a res rocket, as they called it, where, like, it's funny because that's who we are. But when people say, like, oh, you're going to the res, like, that is literally, that's racist. That's not nice. Like, yeah. So, and just, so yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that? Like, situation, like
about Samantha and her racist bullshit,
or just and
like how I was, like, raised.
Yeah.
So like literally, it was like the way that she talked about them. It was that, like, they're these terrible, awful people, essentially. Is how we kind of grew up, and it's really weird because my grandma's best friend was a Native lady.
And your grandma had a foster kid, you said, before, right?
Yeah, Tracy. So I mean, like, I grew up, like, and me and Tracy were, like, best buds. I mean, she was older, and they fostered her, like, she was had some disabilities. But I mean, we were great friends, and like, growing, like, when you're a kid, when you're that young, like, you don't know the difference. And that's, like, the sad part, is when you think back of, like, when you're a kid, you don't care if they're black, white, yellow, brown.
As long as they're nice to me and wanted to play with me, I would play with them. Like, that's period. Like, there's no more to it, and there shouldn't be any more to it. Like, yeah, in
all aspects. Like, you, as kids, you know, and then you grow up, like, why do we have to label everything? And, like, why do we have to label things like interracial couples and stuff? Like, just be a couple.
Just be a couple. Like, I feel like people who really highlight the fact that they're mixed or whatever, it's like, are you proud of it, or are you saying that really often because you feel a certain sense of, like, you're going to be attacked if you don't? Like, I don't know. That's very weird to me too, people who highlight race constantly, because the more you highlight it, the more you make it a topic,
the more attention you're bringing to it.
Yeah, and the more you polarize people, because, like, the more you draw attention to it. Like, if you really believe that there's nothing wrong with it, why do you always have to say that there's nothing wrong with it? That's like people who are like, I'm not crazy, are the craziest people, right? So yeah,
like, I'm dating someone that's Arabic, and I don't bring attention to it. Like, I see him as my boyfriend, another human being. And, you know, sometimes he'll even kind of make comments about it, and I'm the one, like, and maybe I'm a little bit ignorant, maybe, but it's like, why bring attention to it? You're a kind human being, and that's what I see you for. And I tell him all the time, like, I don't see you for your color at all.
Yeah,
like, ever.
Like, why would you? Like, right? Like, yeah. And I feel like my hope for the world is that more and more people just are like, why does that matter? Like, what? Who cares?
But
like,
but here's the funny thing though too, and like, and how, like, racist my Samantha is if I would have dated him when I was still had a relationship, while I still had a relationship with my mom, or still was in contact with her, she probably would have said awful things about him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, like thinking about it, like it's like, yeah, like if I would have brought him around the house, like she probably would have treated him differently.
Yeah.
Or, you know, might have been super nice to his face, but then been an asshole behind his back.
Exactly. I feel that that's what she would have done.
Yeah.
And yeah, like my grandparents, cause like I'm from North Battleford. So of course, like I dated, you know, my share of Native guys, Indigenous guys. I don't know what the right word is, you guys. You just got to give us a break. Because I see both all the time from all kinds of people.
And you ask one person, you know, is this appropriate or is it not appropriate? And they all have different answers.
Yeah, one person doesn't care, and the next person is like, "How could you even ask me that?" And it's like, "Okay, whatever. I'm trying to learn."
Yeah, we are trying to learn. So
yeah.
if you have anything to say about it, or if someone wants to comment, let us know.
We're open to shit. Okay, just talk to us. We're nice. We like healthy, nice debate. We've said that before. Yes. But like I when I like was dating like Native boys in North Battleford, my grandparents always told me, you better not be hanging out with those Indians, and you better not bring an Indian home. And it's like, you know, as a young kid, because my mom was very not racist. My mom works directly with Native kids in the school system. So my mom is like, not a racist bone in her body probably, but my grandparents were very fucking racist. And so I knew from a young age, like, that my grandparents were fucked. Like, they're like RIP and whatever, but like they were super racist, hated Indians. And that's so fucked up to say, but like, I just think that the more you like say it and address it, the more you like don't give power to it, because that, I don't know why I said that, but
what,
like when like people always want to like taboo the things that their grandparents said, they don't want to say them out loud. I think it's important to say them out loud so that you can say like, they said this and that's not okay to say. You know? Yeah. So but what I wanted to speak on regarding the whole residential school thing, and what triggered me, is everybody started changing their profile pictures to this Every Child Matters thing, and it made me very angry, because last year I discovered some real atrocities in the world. I started to really look into human trafficking. I started to become really involved in the underground Operation Underground Railroad project. I took a human trafficking course online and got my certification. I like not to human traffic, obviously, but to identify and help people and victims of trafficking. I held a protest. I made all these signs. I held another protest. And finally I held a fourth all-day protest with some ladies in town. And I was just trying to bring awareness to the fact that children are still going missing to this day. Children are still being murdered to this day. Like, this was in summer of 2020. I was trying to just bring awareness to it, and I had invited like all my friends. Megan came to one of the protests. Thank you to Trudy, Carla, Miranda, Anne. You guys were like, they're probably not listening to this, but if they were, I just wanted to say their names because they were there every single time, and I love them for that. But I was trying to bring awareness to like children, like literally the hashtag was save the children, like help the children. I wrote these huge poster boards of the impacts of child negligence, the impacts of child sexual abuse, which carries with you for your whole life. Like, literally, anybody who has been through trauma, molestation, and the R word that I can't say on YouTube, but you know how impactful that is to a child, even as an adult. And so I just wanted to like help. I wanted to bring awareness to it. I wanted people to talk about it and really like recognize it, because even in Lloydminster, a small place, there have been reports of human trafficking at the Husky truck stop. And I was just trying to I started a group on Facebook called Save the Children Lloydminster. Nobody gave a fuck. I think the group got 150 members. People made fun of me constantly on Facebook and said I was a conspiracy theorist, but you can find all the proof on my Facebook. I've posted links, I've posted videos, I've literally done so much about it, or tried to do so much about it, and it really crushed my fucking soul when I couldn't really get people rallied behind it. I got a handful of people and nobody else cared. And yes, it was COVID, but like my friends, people that were my friends, ignored me completely. And then the audacity 6 months later to be like, oh, this is trending? Every child matters. Hashtag every child matters. Hashtag every... Really? Does every fuck... Like, I'm getting mad, but fuck you.
Or your so-called friends to have the audacity to say, hey, I don't think the way that you went about it was proper or correct. And someone that has the person that told you that has a marketing background said that you didn't take the right approach. Mm-hmm. So why didn't you help her? Why didn't you reach out and say, hey, let's try and do it this way. I like your idea, but let's approach it this way. Instead of all of a sudden bringing it up when you call her out on something.
Yeah, like, hey, how should I have gone about it? And listen, she was like, oh, you could text me. I've texted you. How come you haven't responded?
You invited her.
Like, I invited you to my protest. I invited you to all this shit, and you fucking ignored every aspect of it. Like, get the fuck out of my face. And the worst part was so all I did, okay, she did this profile picture. All I did was comment. I truly, like, what are you going to do? I said something like, I hope that you actually take the time to learn about the children that are actually missing, like, right now, and not just do this, like, performative profile picture change. I couldn't help myself. I had to call her out on it. And then all of these people were like, she is such a good community member of the indigenous community. And it was like, that's not what I'm fucking talking about. I'm talking about the children. Children are the thing that matter the most in this fucking world. And you just turn it around and make it about you and give me 3 paragraphs of how I did everything wrong when I was trying to save the children. It's like, get fucked. Like, you made it all about you, and all I did was ask about the kids. And even in the end, those people still thought it was about, oh, fucking poor fucking you, and God, she's such a good... It's like, really? Y'all.
Yeah, why aren't you having events about saving the children? Why aren't you
having... Like, literally, it was like, here's my profile update, and now here's all the events I have planned. Come spend money and buy this fancy wine. And it's like, man, be a real person. Do something that actually fucking matters. Because half the organizations in Lloydminster, I've also found out, like, for example, I don't know, we don't need to get into that, but the organizations in Lloydminster, like the Lions Club, where does that money go? Who are you supporting? The website is asking for all those donations. They don't fucking go anywhere. They go to the members and they pay for fancy dinners and all this shit. If you guys actually thought every child matters, fucking act like it. Show it. This is fucking, like, it just...
Yeah, the thing of it is like, when you were trying to rally up all the support about, like, saving the children and bringing awareness to the trafficking that's happening and stuff, you know, nobody batted a fucking eye. Mainstream media tells you that you should care, and oh my God, everybody's changing their fucking profile pictures, and oh my goodness, can you believe what... Fuck off!
And another thing is that, so we find out a week later, which... like, it was kind of news right away, but I didn't really look into it until a week later. But they knew about that graveyard already. That was a graveyard. All of those...
They've been starting, like, since 2000 and... Like, they've been gearing up for this for a while. It's not like they just stumbled upon it. Like, they were starting to investigate into it for a while.
Yeah, and now they're just trying to get people mad, and they're trying to make it a race war. And people don't realize that. But guess what? It's not about race. It's not about the indigenous people. Yeah, the residential school shit was fucked, but guess what? It's still going on to this day, and it's called the fucking... It's called the foster care system. It's called Child Protective Services. They still take children away from their parents if they think, oh, you fucking didn't take the garbage out 3 days in a row. You're a nasty woman. We'll take your kids away. Or oh, like, and the worst part is a lot of the people who shouldn't have custody of their kids do. And like, so it's like, you don't care about the kids unless the news care about the kids or unless it's trending. Because you don't care about the kids in the foster system. You don't care about what's happening to all the kids that go missing from CPS in Canada. Like, you probably don't even know about that. Kids go missing, like hundreds of kids go missing in Canada from the Child Protective Services. And you don't really hear about it because they just say, oh, they ran away. But guess what? They're probably being trafficked. And did you know that somebody can make like, what was it, $25,000 off a 13-year-old girl in a day? A 13-year-old girl can get R-worded up to 25 times in a day, $1,000 a pop. That's still going on in Toronto, Ontario. There's a huge child trafficking bust there. We're running out of time. We have like 5 seconds. Fuck.
Open your eyes and start paying the fuck attention.
Oh, wow. Fuck, that got me mad. Ow.